More than 150 years have passed since Beltana started taking shape in the Flinders Ranges. And while time has wearied some of its old buildings, the bell has not yet tolled for this tiny outback town 540 kilometres north of Adelaide.
It's not a ghost town. It's managed to survive, where a lot of towns like this haven't. And it's always had something intrinsically special.
In amongst the blue bushes is a building that captures that spirit of survival. Built in 1879, the Royal Victoria Hotel last served drinks in 1958. But it's now reopened its doors after local retirees Jan and Chris Ferguson bought it.
For us, it was about saving the building. We didn't want the building to go. We've always had a passion for the hotel, and we would have liked it, some years ago, but it was never on the market. And then when it did come on the market, we had a conversation about how old we were and decided, we'll do it anyway.
The couple met at Beltana in the 70s when Chris boarded with Jan's family while working as a teacher in another town. While they spent more than 3 decades away for work, the pull of the old buildings and the people who passed through them brought them back in 2014. So how difficult was it to renovate, restore this old building, which I'm sure has a lot of character?
Yeah, it was difficult because we didn't realise at the start, but every door was a different width or height, every architrave was a different width, and every skirting was a different width.
The hotel was used as a home in the 90s, but it's still taken 2.5 years for the Fergusons and their family to revive the main rooms to their former glory and put in some modern amenities.
It's a 17-room hotel, not bedrooms, but 17 in total, and we've done 7 of the 17 rooms, so there's a lot to go, and we needed to open it up as a hotel to bring some money back in.
Jan has worked as a public servant, union employee, and been at the forefront of improving life and economic prospects in remote communities.
Now, Jan, is there a story behind the crystal glasses?
Well, there is. So we're having proper glasses in this pub. So this hotel would not have had bad glasses, just not of the era that it was.
But while she's not afraid to put her own stamp on this place, being behind the bar is new territory for both Jan and Chris.
We're loving it, It's great, the interaction with people. We've kept the business model really simple. We have a demarcation. I stay at the front behind the bar. He's in the kitchen. He doesn't like it when I go in the kitchen.
No, it's terrible.
Why is that?
Well, she interrupts the flow of work. Like, I've got a system.
That he doesn't want interrupted.
No.
While getting supplies to the remote watering hole isn't always easy, attracting visitors doesn't seem to be a problem, with word spreading quickly among travellers.
Yeah, it just looked different 40 years on.
And those with a connection to the town.
Beltana's story needs to be told, and unless you have a business and a meeting point, you don't have a place for people to actually meet and share all of that history. So part of it was us wanting to do that.
There are no shortage of stories behind these buildings. Like the Great Bakery Explosion. As well as this underground bakery, there used to be another bakery at Beltana. But when firewood kept going missing, someone stuck dynamite in a log to find out who the culprit was. And when the second bakery blew up, they had their answer. Other buildings also came under threat, although perhaps not in such dramatic fashion.
Beltana was being used as a salvage yard a lot because there was accessible galvanised iron, and you didn't have to pay for it. It was cheap timber, and some of that was being taken. And Dad, in particular, wanted to stop that. He thought what you would finish up then was just ruins.
So Jan's parents had their buildings declared in the 70s under the Aboriginal and Historic Relics Preservation Act to stop them being demolished. And that eventually led to a state heritage listing for the town in 1987. Now, any new houses have to be built in the same style as the old ones, while many of the historic buildings have turned into private holiday homes.
No heritage site survives without it's reused for something.
Jan is certainly no stranger to a restoration project. She worked on her first one with her dad at just 12 years of age and has been involved in fixing up 8 buildings at Beltana.
Is this one of your efforts?
Look, it is, not to the standard it is quite now.
And is this something you've worked on?
It was our first marital home.
Oh!
When we bought it, it was painted traditional government aqua and white.
Beautiful.
Which didn't look remotely heritage.
Oh, if it's your first marital home, we've got to go and have a poke around. Come on.
Beltana's police station closed in 1958 and is now a holiday house.
Oh, that's a different sort of backyard shed, really.
It is. It's the cells of the police station.
What did you use those for?
Oh, well, we stored things in them because at that stage it was the only shed. Its history's not all happy. It was a ration station for Aboriginal people when they were taken off their land. So its history's not all great, but it's a beautifully restored example of cells of that time.
Long before this township was built, the land was home to the Adnyamatna people for centuries, and still is. Like her grandfather, Beverly Patterson grew up alongside this creek.
We love this place. I'm not going anywhere. When we was away from here, it felt like a loneliness, living in the towns. And I think the children felt it too, and my grandchildren. And they said, well, let's go home.
Her grandfather, Henry Wilton, also moved away for a while. But when missionaries at Nepabunna stopped Aboriginal cultural practices, he and his family returned to Beltana so they could speak their own Quiani language. While European settlers changed many things for traditional owners, the town they built holds mostly good memories for Beverly, including the local primary school, which had just one teacher for all the different year levels.
Yes, there was from 1 to 7, and there would have been about 3 or 4 of us in grade 7 as the older one. The little school up there was full of kids. I can picture everything in this place. You know, picture the heyday of it. Like, yeah, we had friends that lived in the pub that we spent a lot of time with. But everybody lived together. There was no separation with, you know, we were all friends, everybody in this town.
Oh, what is this anyway?
It's a
Schoolhouse.
Yeah.
These days, tourists outnumber residents.
Might have been a church as well.
But there are still 30 people who live in Beltana and more when holiday homes are occupied. In its heyday, when it was a service centre for pastoral and mining industries, its population peaked at around 400.
All of the services were here, weren't they? Post office, the police, the school, church, you know, that was all here because it was at one stage at the end of the railway line, and then the Cameliers took the goods from here on.
The railway played a big role in opening up the north of the state. But in 1956, it was shifted away from Beltana. The station that was left behind was put to good use, though.
So this must bring back some memories?
It certainly does. Great place to live. Oh, this is our general store, the actual store.
Jan and Rontar came to Beltana from Adelaide in the early 80s to run the general store in the old station, where they also lived. While they'd always liked camping in the Flinders, things in their new home didn't get off to a great start, with no refrigeration and showers that required boiling a pot of hot water.
That was a bit rustic, but it was Oh, it was just an adventure. It really was. I mean, you know, we were a hell of a lot younger then, so it was an adventure. It was great.
Even without the railway traffic, the general store, which was also the post office, kept them busy.
It was a dirt road, one of the worst dirt roads in Australia. And if you didn't stop here, you're an idiot, you know.
Yes, you had to stop.
Yeah.
Was this the gathering spot back then?
It certainly was. Yes. Yeah, it was.
Friday nights were big, weren't they?
Friday nights were big.
When a bitumen road was built bypassing Beltana, the Tars moved out of the railway to set up a new gathering spot, a roadhouse which they ran until they retired in 2013. Jan and Ron may have slowed down on the business front.
The main track went along here.
Oh, righto.
Yeah, right there. Cut your toes off. And there was another one down the middle there and, of course, one through that shed.
But their passion for preserving the railway station and the town has grown.
You owe it to the building, really. You can't let them fall apart. No. And that's what happens if you don't maintain them. And we've got it up to a reasonable standard and probably got another 100 years in it, you know.
And now Beltana has a place to gather once again. And on a night like this, I, for one, am glad I can head indoors.
And it's not just visitors heading in out of the cold. Much to the surprise and delight of Jan and Chris Ferguson, locals who had to travel a fair way to reach a pub before have started a Friday Arvo get-together at the Royal Victoria Hotel. Did you ever think you'd see this place reopen?
Nah, not my wildest dreams. It was just, yeah, but when Jan and Chris started going, we got very excited.
Love your pub.
As Jan and Chris work towards a sustainable business that also gives them the time to finish off the job they've started.
This is a lifestyle business for us. We want to have some fun as well as the people who walk through the door having some fun.
We went to work today.